This is video 5. This is writing an equation from a graph. Excuse me. So this graph shows Janice's weekly income. We have weekly income on the y-axis. This is always the y-axis. And it looks like we have the number of magazines sold. I'm not so worried about that. I'm just looking at reading this graph and finding the slope and the y-intercept. Now, the goal is to write an equation, and we write our equation in y equals mx plus b. So we need to find slope, y-intercept. And remember, the y-intercept can be positive or negative. So let's find the y-intercept first. And all the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So I'm going to look on this y-axis where this graph crosses. Boom, right here. I'm going to put a dot. And I know if you're on a computer, it's a little more difficult, but I'm going to put a dot here. This is our y-intercept. And that value is 60. And it's a plus 60. So when we when we write our equation, we're going to say plus 60. Now, the slope, if we remember, is rise over run, and rise is up and down, run is left and right. So we need to find 2 points on the graph where we can take the slope. And what we want to find is, remember, we want to find one of these little intersections where the graph crosses an intersection. Okay, and then we put a dot there. And again, if you're on a computer, it's a little more difficult. But if you have paper pencil or paper pen, you can put a dot on those intersections. Now, we make our triangle between any 2 points, and we simplify. But we can pick any 2 points we want. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this one and this one, just like that. And I know that's not a straight line, but you get the idea. Now, we need to tell what our rise is and our run is, but we have to do something that's very important. We have to check our scale, because you could potentially be tripped up. This is not 1. If we check our scale, each square goes up by how many? Oh, 0 to 20. Well, that's 20, so each square is 20. So this is not 1. If you put 1 here, that would not be a correct answer. This is actually 20. So our rise is 20. Now, we check our scale here. Each square goes by 1s. So this is just 4. My run is 4. And is this a positive graph or a negative graph? Well, it goes up and to the right. That means it's positive. So our slope is going to be positive. And of course, we want to simplify. 20 divided by 4 is going to be 5 over 1. And we can simplify that even further. 5 divided by 1 gives us 5. So our slope is positive 5. Now we write an equation. Y equals my slope, which is 5x, y-intercept plus 60, just like that. Rewind that if you need to, writing an equation from a graph.